Start.
Good morning all, I am Revati from H&S department, English. Today we are going to discuss Unit 1 from the text English Language Context and Culture by Orient Swan, published by Orient Swan, and today we are going to discuss the lesson Unit 1 Toasted English by R.K. Narayan. And before going into the lesson, we have a few general questions like, have you ever been spoken with someone who don't know the language properly, okay, and who is not from a mother tongue background and all? Do you have this experience? It would be totally different, that you will be experiencing it in such a manner that you will be finding it difficult to talk with someone who don't know the language properly, okay. And also, in this context, we are going to discuss or we are going to get awareness on the importance of Indian English and why Indian English is neglected, why Indian English is not given importance equally to the British and American English. Okay. And coming to British English and American English, there are different kinds of differences. For example, we call in British English we call it as parking lot. Okay, and in American English we call it as parking garage and all. Okay, that is the minute difference. What is the major difference between American English and British English is British English goes with the definitions. Definitions in the sense means check. If you take the word check, okay, for example the word check, check means definition of check is verifying something, verifying whether it is correct or not. Okay, verification, definition of check is. But coming to the American English, they take it into a totally different meaning, okay, and they pronounce it. Their language is based on pronunciation. British language goes with the definitions, whereas American language is based on pronunciation. According to the pronunciation, they create the words. So here, in this under Toasted English, R.K. Narayan questions asking that why can't you, if you are able to accept American English, okay, and giving importance to American English, why can't you accept Indian English? That is what the question raised by R.K. Narayan. And in the coming to the introduction about the author, R.K. Narayan is born in 1906 and 2001 and was one of the best first generation Indian novelists who wrote in English, and he is a great writer who have translated Ramayana into English language. The main motive of R.K. Narayan is he is one of the great fictional writer. Okay, what is the meaning of fiction here? Fiction gives you the meaning that imaginative stories, okay, creating or telling imaginative stories. R.K. Narayan have wrote many imaginative stories like Malgudi Days, Swami and Friends, and so on. Okay, and coming to this R.K. Narayan's lesson Toasted English, it was published 5 decades ago, and also he in this lesson he particularly mentions the difference between, okay, American English and British English, and he asks the questions that why can't we accept Indian English, okay, and he says that it is the time, there is a time have finally came to urge for the Bharat brand of English, okay. And coming to the first passage of the lesson, he says that in the American restaurants they call for toasted English, referring to English muffins. So he says that, okay, in American restaurants, they refer American English to English muffins. Where if we see muffins are some objects or the cakes, cupcakes which are toasted from bottom and front and bottom, but people love it. In the same manner, he is comparing American English with the muffins. Okay, and he is also saying in the first passage that Americans also, like us, like Indians, have been ruled by Britishers. They have fighted for their freedom and had thrown the Britishers from their country. But the British language have been retained in America, and they have started speaking in English, thinking that English is retained in their soil also. But the only difference which you face or which you recognize with the American English is that no formalism is existing in American English. Okay. For example, always in the British English we we find the topics like, or we find the sentences like, may I come in, excuse me, and shall I come in, okay, can you lend me the book. These are the examples of British English where you will find formalism. Formalism duly exists in British English, but coming to the American English, you don't find any kind of formalism. Wherever they want, they will use the language, use the words however they want. Even though it is the word doesn't fit the situation, also they will use the words accordingly. However they want, they will be using. Wherever they want, they will be using. Who? Americans. Okay. And coming to the second paragraph. Okay, now R.K. Narayan tries to show, coming to the second paragraph, R.K. Narayan tries to show the difference by taking a word as an example, different kinds of words as an example, and he tries to show some difference. We'll see what's that. In America, they have read the language from the stifling training. So, in the very first line in the passage, R.K. Narayan is using a word stifling training, which means that a humoric expression in the lesson or the paragraph. Humor we call it. Stifling training is the meaning like forcefully using something. Okay, forcefully using or trying to hold the power and all. This is a humor word expression used by R.K. Narayan. When you are writing question and answer also, you need to state this, okay, you need to state this word, okay, of passive voice, where we should say ceremoniously trespassing prohibited. You can underline this trespassing prohibited, okay. Their signal boards, as I noticed in the parks of Berkeley, merrily say newly planted, don't walk. I want you to, you can also underline here newly planted or make a note of newly planted or don't walk. Absolutely no parking, leaves no room for speculation, and no motorist need spend too much time peering out and studying the notice. In a similar situation, our authorities are likely to plant a 20-line inscription across the landscape to say, under Municipal Act, so and so, this area have been reserved, etc. Okay, so with these lines we will come across that trespass is prohibited is the English used by Britishers. Okay, you can make a note of it and you can note down that trespass is prohibited word B, Britishers, you can write it there. Okay, so which means that trespass is prohibited means you will be finding even in the Indian roads also, when you are roaming here and there or near the municipal parks and all, trespass is prohibited, which means you should not walk there. You should not walk in the garden. Okay, you should not take your motorcycle or your vehicles, okay, on that road and all. For example, if you take in AP, Vizag, okay, Vizag, particular beach you will be having, Ramakrishna beach or somewhat, there morning, early morning from 5 to 10, trespasses are prohibited. Okay, not trespasses are prohibited, motorists are prohibited, okay, vehicles are not allowed. Only people can jog and walk exclusively. And no vehicles will come on the beach road. That is the exclusive offer given or facility provided by the municipality, okay, municipal corporation to the citizens of Vizag. Okay, like that, trespass is prohibited means which way we should not walk on that road or walk in that area. Okay, that is the sentence used by Britishers. Now see how Americans are using it. Newly planted, don't walk. Newly planted, don't walk means trespasses prohibited gives the meaning that you should not walk in that way, because some plants are planted indirectly. That is the meaning. Plants are there. If you step on them, they will die. You are spoiling the way. You are spoiling the lawn, green lawn. You all know that, right? So that green lawn will be spoiled and all. You know that. Okay, indirect meaning. Simply trespass is prohibited means you will understand that you should not walk. But Americans are using newly planted, don't walk. So according to any time, okay, however they want, they use the language. They use the words. Even the words doesn't fit also they use. There is any formalism, if you put a signboard using newly planted, don't walk. Is there any formalism existing? Obviously no. Okay. So, and also no, absolutely no parking. Again they are saying, simply if you keep no parking also it is okay. But they are saying newly planted, don't walk, and they are also using the word like no parking. Okay, leaves no room for speculation, and no motorist need spend too much time peering out and studying the notice. So, trespasses prohibited is a word. If you find that signboard on the road, trespass is prohibited, a motorist by driving also parallelly he can watch the signboard and he won't park there. But American signboard, newly planted, don't walk, okay, no vehicle parking, no parking, okay, avoid no parking or somewhere, absolutely no parking. These are the signboards where you have to stop your vehicle, gaze means look for some time and you have to stare what is exactly written, which means that in order to read that signboard also you have to spend some time. And do you think that how many of them spend some time to read the signboard provided by the government or the municipality? No one, right? So that is the point told by R.K. Narayan, which means dragged conversation Americans will have, and also formalism absolutely won't exist. Okay, and see how now the next sentences are how Indians, okay, how Indians keep the signboard about the same topic. Trespass, instead of keeping trespassers prohibited under Municipal Act. Under Municipal Act, where do we find it? In India only, under Municipal Act, and also not only that small word. See how long sentences were given. And so this area have been reserved, etc., etc. These are the underline. You can make a note and you can mark it there. Indian English. Indians use this. Okay, under Municipal Act, and so this area have been reserved, etc., etc. And any vehicle stationed there as on many American offices stores, will be deemed to be contravened subsection so and so for motorcycle act, etc., etc. So this is a long sentence given, which means that Indians use this much long sentence. He is not here. You need to make a point that R.K. Narayan is not only, okay, pointing a finger against American English. Okay, he is also telling that Indian English also have equal flaws like American English. Okay, we in India, everybody can't speak proper English, but we are able to speak. We can speak better English than Americans. So, if the world is accepting American spoken English as a good English, why can't the world accept Indian English? Why don't we get equal recognition, equal respect to our Indian English? That is the question raised by R.K. Narayan through this lesson, Toasted English. Okay, and later on he shifts to another by taking another word and comparing British English and American English. Okay. On many American office doors, just do not enter, underline, do not enter. The traffic signals at pedestrian crossing never mince words. They just say go or wait. Okay, so he is telling that how traffic signals, we have yellow, red, white and all, go, stop, wait. This is formally used words. Go means you can go green signal, wait means red signal, that indirectly we will know. But coming to the American English, they will simply say do not enter. Informalism again. Okay, and again he shifts to Hollywood studio. One of the Hollywood studio, what he has seen on the doors of Hollywood studio, and he is also trying to compare that. For example, in a Hollywood studio, I was rather startled to read Mark Stevens. Mark Stevens is one of the famous old generation actor. Okay, and later on he is a famous television actor in 90s or you can say 70s, not 90s, 70s, famous television actor. Later on he became one of the partner producer for Google also. Okay, and this Mark Stevens in a Hollywood studio, on his door, you all know actors will have separate room and all for makeup and costume, getting ready for the shot and all. On the door of Mark Steven, okay, R.K. Narayan is telling that I was startled, I was shocked to see on the door they directly wrote do not enter. Do not enter is something told harshly. Okay, if Mark Steven don't want his someone to find him, for example, if you want to go to principal room or exam branch, how do you find? You will find a signboard on the top of the room. Okay, on the top of the or in front of the room or on the door, admin, principal room, exam branch, classroom, isn't it? You will be finding these kind of signboards. Why? Because it's easy to find. So if Mark Steven doesn't want anyone to enter his room and no one to disturb him, why he is putting the signboard? Why to put the signboard that to do not enter in a harsh manner? That is a question raised by R.K. Narayan here. Okay, so do not enter is again American word. Okay, keep out. Mark Steve is a busy television personality who does not like to be disturbed by visitors. Incidentally, it left me wondering why, if Mr. Stevens did not like interruption, he announced his name at all on the door. So as I told you, if he doesn't want anyone to disturb him, that Stevens, okay, why he is putting the name, his name, Mark Steven? If you put the signboard that that room belongs to him. For example, even in India, some of the houses will write Mr. and Miss Smith, Mr. and Miss John, okay, Jones. These are the names we will put in order to recognize that is our home. So if he doesn't want anyone to disturb him, why he is putting the signboard? Okay. But it is one of the minor mysteries that make travel through the country so engrossing. Okay, so he is telling that holding the attention means that even though if they don't want to do that, they will do that in an informal way. Who? Americans. Okay, so that is a big question mark. R.K. Narayan is telling that why Americans are holding all this and why they are behaving like this. This is a big question. And if we move further into the lesson, R.K. Narayan is trying to tell, further explain, trying to take many other words from American English and he is comparing with the British English and he is trying to explain how Americans change the meaning of the words totally. Okay. The toasting of English have been achieved through other means also. Americans have evolved certain basic keyword which may be used anywhere, anyhow. So, R.K. Narayan is telling that anywhere, anyhow, wherever they want, the Americans take few words and even though they don't fit for the situation, the meaning won't match to the situation. Okay, they will be using the words. Okay, Americans will be using the words. For example, here further paragraphs, R.K. Narayan takes the word checking. Check matlab, check means like verifying, okay, or testing. Okay, and also he gives other meanings from the definitions are scrutinizing, verifying, examining. These are the words, definitions of check. Okay, but actually if you take the meaning literally, okay, checking means examining. I examine you whether you have ID card or not. I verify you, okay, whether you have written your homework or not. That is the meaning, definition. British meaning is, check meaning is that, but Americans use it check in, check out. Pronunciation is also different. Check in and check out, chuck out, chuck. Okay, that is the pronunciation used by Americans, and also Americans use it in a different manner that actually foreign countries are very cold countries. Wherever Westerns move, they wear a coat and a hat in order to protect them from cold climate and all, cold environment. When Americans are using this cold hat and all, they will have a check girl. Okay, who will be taking there when you go to the party or a restaurant. First you will deposit your coat and a hat to the check girl, then you will go and sit and you will order and you will enjoy your dinner or your date. Okay, but here Americans are using check in, check out, which means that when you check in, check out, literal meaning is, definition means according to British is it when you check into a hotel room, we call it as, when you are taking a new room, hotel room, then we call it as check-in. Check-out means when you are vacating, we use it as check-out, literal meaning. But Americans are using it in a different manner. Okay, totally change the meaning of check. And also he further explains how a lady, American lady uses the word fabulous. Okay, he takes the word fabulous and he tries to explain how an American lady uses the word fabulous. Fabulous gives the meaning is wonderful, excellent. That is the British meaning or definition of fabulous. Synonyms of fabulous, if you take that, wonderful, excellent. In order to praise someone, we use fabulous. But one of the American women use, one of my cats are, okay, those cats of mine are fabulous. Those cats of mine are fabulous, which means that cats are moving here and there. Their cats are running as they want, which means they are disturbing her, annoying her. okay, but she is using fabulous. Opposite meaning, disturbing, okay, disturbing her a lot, but using fabulous. Does that fit? No, doesn't. But Americans are using fabulous, which means vice versa. Anywhere they want, wherever they want, they use it. In order to explain that example, R.K. Narayan is using this word. And later on, he shifts it to like adding few words like okay and yeah. Okay and yeah, okay or yeah we use, okay. Like these words are self-sufficient. Okay itself says that you are sufficient, okay, you have understood and all, okay. And okay sir, yeah sir, adding sir at the end of okay and yeah is not that good. That is what again R.K. Narayan tries to quote in the Toasted English, okay. He tries to tell that Americans use or says okay sir or yeah sir in the in their context while they are speaking and all. And later on further R.K. Narayan finally in the conclusion paragraph he says that, okay, that in American or in British countries, when you are traveling, you don't find any conductor shouting ticket. Actually, ticket, where do you find? In India, conductor asking ticket, then only will take ticket, right? But in a British countries, no one asks you ticket. He says that ticket, sir. Then he'll take the bus pass or ticket and he'll verify it and he'll say thank you, sir. So formalism is existing. By counting how many thank yous told by the conductor, you can count or you can know how many people are sitting in the bus or traveling in that bus along with you. So the conductor in British countries never miss saying thank you, not even to the one person. If 10 people are traveling, 10 thank yous you will be hearing. That is what R.K. Narayan says. But coming to the American English, you don't find that formalism. Okay, and also he says that if you can you help me. Okay, he says that can I help you, and also excuse me is a word used by Britishers. Excuse me means you are standing in the corridor and I say 2 or 3 friends, group of your friends are standing in the corridor for example, and you are discussing on some matter. Then I say excuse me. Excuse me in the sense means you will move aside. Right? The excuse me is used by the Britishers. But how we Indians will say, why you are standing in the corridor for longer? How can we walk? We make some way. This is what all these things we will be speaking instead of using excuse me. That comparison also R.K. Narayan brings, and finally he concludes saying that Indians, okay, I am not asking you to accept. R.K. Narayan says that he is not asking you to accept the English spoken in the railways or in the market, bazaar English he mentions. Okay, in bazaar also good English is spoken in India, and that bazaar English should get some recognition. And equally he says that I am not asking you to recognize the old English spoken in the railways. Okay, and he also uses the sentence like where you going man. Where are you going is grammatically correct sentence. But instead of that we use in railways few years ago, where you going man and all. He is not asking you to accept that kind of English spoken by Indians, but he is trying to tell that most of my Indians can speak better English. Okay, if you don't, if you are accepting American English which is incorrect, informal, why can't you accept my Indian English? And he also says that now the time has finally came to urge for the recognition to Bharat brand of English. New brand is coming into existence. That is nothing other than Bharat brand of English. And these Britishers have kept a stand like Madras handlooms and Tamil Nadu wooden tools or wooden toys, which means that Tamil Nadu is famous for handlooms. Like Kanchi and all, you will find handlooms, okay, like clothing and all, very very famous. And also Tirupati is very very famous for wood dolls. You will find forest around Tamil Nadu and Tirupati where you will be finding these wooden dolls and all. Like wooden dolls from Tirupati we have to bring. Some places will have some brands, right? Okay, from Araku, honey will be very fresh because you will be finding it forest area. Okay, like that you have kept that this is Bharat English, and proper, it won't be proper, it is not a good English. No, we need to change that. We need to bring some awareness. That is the urge brought by the R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan is trying to elevate the importance of English spoken in India, and he is also equally trying to tell that in India also we speak better English. Okay, and we have to fight. All Indians have to come forward to fight for the recognition of Indian English. That is all about R.K. Narayan's Toasted English Unit 1. Thank you.